Hey, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you can use Pear Deck today. The very first thing that you can do is go to peardeck.com and it's going to take you to your dash. And through our school, we have Pear Deck Premium. So you have a lot of features that maybe we didn't have before. And if it hasn't gone through yet, you at least can do the 3-month trial until it does kick in. So from the Pear Deck homepage, you can go ahead and click create a lesson if you want to get started and jump right in to figure out how this works. It's going to open up a window that looks like this. And what you're going to need to do is just add new slides, and you can make them look however you want. This is for you to design. If you want the design already made for you, then go ahead and pull something that Pear Deck has for you. But from there, you will click add-ons. If you don't yet have the Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, you just want to click get add-ons here. But you'll open it up, and over to the right side of your screen, you're going to have the Pear Deck option. Now, you have the most basic ones, which are the most convenient too. Text, which will create a box for students to type into, multiple choice, type in a number. You can embed a website that students can visit through your presentation, a drawing slide, or a draggable slide. I'll show you what some of those look like in a moment. But once you click start, it's going to open up in a new window. It's going to give you a code, and students will need to join in on that. You can make it instructor paced so they follow along with you, or student paced so they can work at their own speed. This is good if you want to give them some asynchronous work to do. Now, after you've done all of these things, you are going to have student answers that you're probably going to want to look at. So back from the Pear Deck homepage, you have at the top here where it says sessions. So each session that you have, you can look with these 3 dots and click takeaways. And takeaways is going to open up every student's responses to every question. So you can go ahead and look and see where students are, how it's going, whether if you gave them a quiz this way, you always have this in your archive to see what was going on. Now, while presenting with students, you can look at answers. So let me show you what mine looks like. Okay, I'm going to have students answer this question of the day with a text response. So let's start this lesson so I can show you what it's going to look like for them. We'll start with instructor pace. So once you click start the lesson, you are going to have a landing page like this. It opens it up in a new window for you. Your students will type this code. There is a space here, and it will tell you how many students you have connected. You can just give them the link if you like and post that to Google Classroom. And you can open up a teacher dashboard to make this a little easier for you to navigate on your phone or an iPad or something like that too. But you will present just as you would on any other thing. But now, this is a text slide where students can type their answers. I can at some point lock screens, or I can set a timer to lock those screens after a certain amount of time has passed. I can then show responses, and you can show them in several ways. You can show a list layout, or you can show a grid layout. If it's a drawing or a draggable, you can even show an overlay. So you can lay them all on top of each other to show where student lines are or where they've dragged their icons to. If in the middle of your lesson you decide there's something else that you need to ask, you can click new prompt and you can add anything in, and you can even add it to the slide that you're on. So if you want to do a drawing, a draggable, a number, or a text. So let's talk about a couple of these different things here. This is a drawing slide. So my students are going to take each of these terms and they're going to draw a line from that term to the definition, so I can get a quick formative assessment on them to see, do they know these definitions quickly? Then I'm going to have them do the same thing, and they're going to have a draggable here. They will have a little star, and they're going to read this and determine which of these appeals this text is, and they'll take the star and they'll drag it here. As I show responses, I'm going to be able to stack them on top of each other to see if most of my students got the stars in the right location. And this is anonymous while you're presenting it, so that way you can see, you can get a good idea and then show students without calling anybody out. But it does really help to let the students see where everybody else is. You can also use draggables to do things like this. The debate topic we're talking about today is smartphones are making people stupid. They're going to have a dot that they can drag to one side or the other. But if they're somewhere in between, they can drag it. Well, I mostly agree, but I disagree a little bit. And it gives them a little bit of scale that they can use. Now, if at any point I have some writing or something that I want to let them have a little more time to work on, I can click the three dots down on the bottom and turn on student paste. And that's going to allow them to go back and forth at their own discretion without me guiding them through there. Because as soon as I lock a screen or I move on to the next slide, it will move on to the next slide on their screen as well. So when you're done, you just click end and it will ask you to name the session so you can easily find it on Pear Deck here. And it will also ask if you want to publish takeaways. If you publish takeaways, then students are going to get an email with all of their responses in a Google Doc file so they can look at them, and you can add notes and they can see those notes as well. So that's a pretty nice way to give feedback. Overall, Pear Deck is pretty user friendly. It's not difficult to just kind of jump in and get started wherever you are, whether that's with a slide deck that you've already created or a slide deck that you create through Pear Deck, or even just using their slides. So as you work with it a little bit, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm very happy to help you and get you started. So have fun.